Hi, this is Clara with Clarity Unlimited. Today we're going to talk about the infinity loop breaking point cycle. And this is what people get trapped in. This is the thing that keeps people in jobs longer than they want to be in those jobs. So there's often a delay. When somebody finally makes the decision to make a change, that can often be weeks, months, or years after they had the initial realization. And from that initial realization point to the actual jumping off point to doing something about it, that's where the infinity loop, it's the dream dare infinity loop. That's where that lives. And essentially it's this idea of often people have a moment at work. It's another moment, it's piled on top of a bunch of moments that lead to that sort of like, oh, this is not the right place for me. I'm being disrespected again. Oh, I just found out what someone else is getting paid. Oh my God, if they change my manager one more time. So there's lots and lots of things, or slugging through an 8 to 10 hour day with 10 minutes of, that was great. It's just not enough. So these things build up over time. And when they're happening, they spark this internal, I wish I had more fulfillment. I wish I worked for an organization and actually believed in what they do. I wish I was getting treated better. I wish I didn't feel so invisible in this environment. This is the dreams, right? This is what dreams sound like. Sometimes people are like, I want to go be a CEO, or I want to go start a business, or I want a job over there at that company. Most of the time it sounds like my initial examples. So the dreams come up and then people start to move towards them, and that's when fear kicks in. So dare comes after dream, because you've got to dare, you've got to take a risk if you're going to bring a dream to fruition. If you're going to change something in your life, you have to be daring. You have to take a risk. And so in the dream stage, especially early on, dare can spark these fears of, but things aren't that bad. Because I'm afraid of change. I'm afraid of the unknown. What if nobody wants me? What if my skills aren't transferable? Am I clear enough? All these fears come up, so people get trapped in dare. And when there's enough of those, they put it down. They go, okay, I'm just going to pause. And then they go on a little bit longer, and then they have another dream. Something else happens, and then they're dreaming again. And then they're like, right, today I'm going to move forwards. I'm going to dare. I'm going to go for it. Too scary. Okay, back into dream, or back into just plodding along. And then the dream comes up, and then the dare. And then you're back and forth. And this is the infinity loop. And then for most people, there's a breaking point. And the breaking point is they lose their job. They lose some ability. There's a health conflict. There may be a relationship that ends, or they have to move house. There's something that happens. Another internal organization. It's just too many. It's too much. So the breaking point propels people into career change, and then they're flailing around, going, okay, because now there's a lot more stress than there would have been if this had been started sooner, when there wasn't the urgency in place. So that's the dream dare infinity loop. And I'm really curious if you relate to that, if you're stuck in that right now. And if you are, or you have been, what do you think you might have needed to get you through dare before the breaking point? What do you think you might have needed to hear? What do you think you might have needed to do? What do you think would have been supportive for you at that time? Write it down. Write it down or think about it. But this is such an important thing. You might even have friends or family who are stuck in this dream dare infinity loop. And often we know there's a breaking point coming. It's coming at some point. You don't have to wait for the breaking point. I promise you. You can start sooner. And with a friend's support or with professional support, that's what I do. It can be a lot easier. It is a lot easier. Because those fears that are coming up, they're not reasons to stop. They are your feedback. They're feedback that you're moving in the right direction. Okay, time to break out. Break out of the infinity loop.